El calentamiento global es una amenaza para el mundo entero, y en el Estado de Israel, dicha problemática se toma bastante en serio. La profesora, geobióloga y oceanógrafa de la Universidad David Ben Gurión, Sigal Abramovich, nos habla sobre qué alcances podría tener el cambio climático en nuestra vida cotidiana.
I'm the chair of the Department of Earth and Environmental Sciences, meaning that in my qualification, I'm a geologist. And specifically, I specialize in paleontology and oceanography. I started my career as investigating fossils from a geological period, which is called the Cretaceous. And I studied the extinction of the dinosaurs using these fossils that I'm specialized in. And I started at Ben Gurion University of the Negev. I did my bachelor and master's degree there. And then I moved to Princeton University and did my PhD there, specialized in these extinction events of the dinosaurs. And so basically, after my PhD, I returned back to Israel for a position as a faculty member in the Department of Earth and Environmental Sciences. This is the same department where I did my bachelor and master's degree. And I continued working on these fossils. And then I started to explore other uses of these fossils, mainly to work on their living representative in the oceans. Since in my background, I'm also a biologist. So during this time, a very exciting field of research has been developed, which combines tools from geology and tools from biology. It's called geobiology. So we can use in the same research project, we can use geological and biological tools. That's the meaning of that. So, so basically since then, like over 10 years ago, I started to work on these creatures or marine organisms to study changes in the oceans, mainly man-made changes like pollution, which is brought to to coastal environments, like heavy metals coming up from local industries, and also climate changes. So these creatures are very unique because they are microscopic, and we can see them work with them and see them under the microscope. We can go to the field and collect them in the field. We study both in the Mediterranean and in the Red Sea. And then we collect them in a lab, and then we can do both genetical analysis and also geochemical analysis. And geochemical analysis meaning that what I forgot to mention is that these creatures, they form shells, which basically surrounds the organism itself. They create these shells. These are called carbonate shells, and they're a very important part of the carbon cycle, of Earth's carbon cycle. So they take up carbon from the oceans and they build these shells. And these shells are used as basically, they live for 1 year or several months, and then they record the environments in the oceans. And so we can use different types of chemistry methods to measure everything that they record in their shells. And this is how we discovered that we can detect heavy metal pollution in the oceans by measuring their shells. And at the same time, we can also use genetical analysis to see how they respond in molecular levels to stress caused by human pollution. So this is what I do. And yeah, if you want, I can give you some more information. The Red Sea is very, very important, and Israel has a very, very unique geographical and important geographical location. It is unique because basically we not only have the Red Sea or the Gulf of Aqaba Eilat, which is a tectonic branch of the Red Sea, we also have the Mediterranean. And so the Red Sea is unique because it's relatively young sea geologically speaking. It only exists for a few million years, and it's part of the tectonic activity that created the Dead Sea Reef. On the other hand, the Mediterranean is a remaining of the Tethyan Ocean, which existed hundreds of millions of years ago. So basically, we have access to two very different oceans. One is a very ancient, it's a remaining of a very ancient ocean, and the other one is a young ocean. And they both represent fascinating oceanographic phenomena. And one of the most important aspects about the Red Sea is that it's a tropical ocean. And as a tropical ocean, it's harbor very high diversity of living organisms, from corals and organisms that live in association with the corals. So it's very rich in diversity. And for us researchers, it's also unique because it has a very special geographic configuration. In regular oceans, when you want to go into the deep sea, you have to sail like tens of kilometers, and you have to use a very expensive equipment to get to the middle of the oceans. That's the same as the Mediterranean. When we want to take samples in the Mediterranean from the deep sea, we need a very expensive ship that will take us for a day cruise or 2 days or few days cruise. In the Red Sea, the way this sea was formed, and since it's very recent, it hasn't developed much distance from the deep ocean. So we have what it calls a continental shelf, which is relatively short. Continental shelf is the part that defines the distance from the coast to the place where the ocean becomes very deep. So in Eilat, in the area of Eilat, it's very short. So we can take like a small boat and in a few minutes, we're in the middle of the oceans. So we can study very special phenomena without paying too much money and carry out expensive equipment, which is required when you go into a very long sailing. So this is why people all over the world are coming to Eilat to study the oceans, because it's unique for its tropical conditions. It is very sensitive to climate change, and people that are studying corals, they show that the corals that live in Eilat, in the area of the Red Sea, the Gulf of Aqaba, Eilat, these corals are more resilient to climate change compared to other corals. And we use the same our organisms that we study, these single cell organisms, to study the global warming in Eilat, as well as the effect of anthropogenic stressor or man-made stressors, because the city of Eilat and both the city of Aqaba, these are two big cities, and they influence the coastal environment. So we have many opportunities there to study global phenomenon as well as very local phenomena. Of course, well, this is one of the most serious issues that Israel and also as well as other countries should deal with. And Israel has the same responsibilities as other countries. And my role as an oceanographer is to document the changes in the ocean. You know, this is my expertise, and the oceans are a very important source for humanity. So we have to study the changes that climate change in the ocean. So the most concerning aspect for humanity is first of all food securities. We take up a lot of our food from both land and the oceans, and climate change affect the everything that we eat. So it affects agriculture, and it affects the amount of fish that we'll find in sea, and so it has a direct effect on our life and consequences on our life. But it also causes extreme weather, and extreme weather causes many disasters. So storms, fires, these are very scary things that we need to be concerned about. And for the matter of oceanography, sea level change, although it's a much slower process, it's something that is very frightening for us. And it is going to have a direct effect on coastal cities. So, and this is something that we already see in some places in the world. And Israel has much concern about that as well. And also we care about nature. And for me, as a researcher, I care about our planet. I care about the life, the diversity of life. I don't want to that the humanity will continue to promote these extinctions of many sensitive organisms that will become extinct because of these continuation of this warming. So I think that one of the effort that we should make is to see how to monitor these change, not only to prevent it. This is something that we have to take care of that as well, but we also need to study the effect, the way we're affecting the different ecosystems. This is something that we still need to study. Okay, well, I always wanted to come to Mexico. It's a fascinating country, and both as a geologist, it's fascinating, and to learn about the culture, and for me, especially, I've been involved in many initiation in many projects at the university. I was a part of the team that constructed the new School of Sustainability and Climate Change. And I'm also now together with my colleagues that are studying marine oceanographers, we established a new Center of Marine Sciences at Ben-Gurion University. And being at this position allowed me to understand how important it is to connect to other universities, and to create an impact together. So, and for me, Ben-Gurion University is to get the chance to represent my university. This is a great honor for me. I believe in my university. I think it's a very powerful, a very important university in Israel, not only because of its size, but also because of the people. Yes, I think that coming to Mexico and to talk about the school and to talk about my department and about some of our initiatives, this is it's a great honor for me, but also it's a great opportunity. And I hope that many good things will come out of that. And Mexico, I have a really sentimental point here in Mexico, because when I was a grad student in Princeton, I came with my advisor, Professor Gerda Keller. By that time, I didn't study the ocean. I studied ancient oceans as a paleontologist. And Mexico is very important in the case of the extinction of dinosaurs, because it is believed that the dinosaurs were killed by a meteorite impact that hit the Chicxulub site. It's called the Chicxulub site of the Yucatan Peninsula. And so it's a very famous place for everyone in my field. So what my advisor, PhD advisor, has done, she planned an excursion, a field excursion, several times actually. We came to northern Mexico, and we had a colleague in Linares, and he was one of her former graduate students, and we've been in the field for several weeks. One time we also came with the undergraduate student from Princeton, and we had marvelous days in the field. These are very, very very nice places to study this geological period, because it preserved the evidence of everything that happened during that geological time when the dinosaur died. So it was fascinating. And so Mexico has both great oceans and great geological outcrops. So I hope that it's not going to be my second time here. There will be more opportunities to come.